Greetings, friends. This is the Krasmodo channel. Not long ago, I came across a small article about rare motorcycles. So in this short segment, I want to tell you about the Polish-Belarusian Niemen motorcycles, which come from the city of Grodno. Articles about this machine often spark heated debates on whether the motorcycle is Belarusian or Polish. The question remains open, so you can argue about it in the comments. Well, let's get started. Not many people know that in the 1930s in Grodno, which at that time was part of Poland, bicycles and motorcycles were produced under the same name as the river on whose banks the city was built. It all started in 1894 when Nakim Starowolski founded a metal products factory. Over time, the company's product range grew, and by the 1920s and 1930s, the factory was producing sewing machines and bicycles. The latter became quite popular. For example, in the mid-1930s, the Neman factory produced about 10,000 bicycles a year. Around 100 people worked at the factory. The people of Grodno didn't invent anything radically new. They simply borrowed and improved upon existing ideas. In particular, the bicycles were copies of German models in their design, but with some modifications. Chrome rims, spokes with a diameter of 2 millimeters, and leather saddles were ordered from Latvia. The wheel hubs were purchased from the German company Fichtel & Sachs. At that time, there was a trend in Poland for small-displacement motorcycles known as sotnia. The term sotnia meant an engine displacement of less than 100 cubic centimeters. Such motorcycles were significantly cheaper, had a lower tax, and did not require a driver's license.
No rider becomes an expert overnight. First, you learn from experienced riders.
Need help?
Investing can work the same way. Meet eToro, a multi-assets investment platform where you can follow top investors, view their portfolios, and even copy their trades automatically. Join real-time market conversations with ideas, trends, and questions as events unfold. And all of that connects to a wide range of assets, including stocks, crypto, ETFs, and more, all in one platform. eToro is a regulated service with over 40 million users across more than 75 countries. Start investing with eToro and get $50 worth of stock when you deposit $200 or more. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code and get your $50 worth of stock now. Join the largest social investments platform and learn from the pros. Now, back to the video.
In 1934, the factory produced its first mopeds with a 75 cubic centimeter engine, which was mounted on the rear wheel. Now the company was called Kresowa Wytwórnia Rowerów I Motocykli Neman. The first Niemen motorcycles appeared in 1936. This model was the Niemen R100. The motorized bicycle had a spring suspension on the front fork and was sold in both men's and women's versions. By 1938, the DS model was introduced with a Sachs engine of 98 cubic centimeters and without pedals, and the DV series of models with Villiers engines of 98 cc, 125 cc, and 150 cc. The motorcycles themselves were sold both in Grodno and in Warsaw. For example, in this photo, Polish youth are on Neman motorcycles. Polish police officers often rode Niemen motorcycles across western Belarus. The motorcycles were also put into service in the army. Niemen motorcycles were also popular among the osadniks, Polish citizens who were granted Belarusian lands by the authorities. Niemen motorcycles even took part in the Warsaw-Minsk-Mazowiecki-Otwock-Warsaw Rally. In 1938, the factory produced 166 motorcycles, and during the entire production period, about 500. It is worth noting that the population of Western Belarus under Polish occupation lived on the brink of poverty, if not beyond it. The newspaper Swobodnaya Belarus on November 26, 1939, wrote about the factory, quote, "The Niemen bicycle factory in Grodno has always been known for its harsh working conditions. The workers here work 12 to 14 hours a day in dirty, cold workshops, receiving a meager wage for their labor. No attention was paid to labor protection, safety measures, or medical care. The factory owner, in pursuit of profit, ignored the workers' legitimate demands. In September 1939, Hrodna became part of the BSSR. The enterprise was nationalized and was renamed the Hrodna Bicycle Plant. That year, Nahum Starovolsky was arrested and placed in the Bialystok prison. The rest of the family was exiled to Kazakhstan, where the Starovolskys survived the war. In 1946, they moved to Poland and then to Germany. Nahum Starovolsky emigrated to Israel in 1948. After 1939, motorcycles were no longer made in Grodno, but the former Starovolsky enterprise remained one of the most important industrial centers of the city even in the post-war years. That's it, friends. My story about the Polish-Belarusian Niemen motorcycles comes to an end. Thank you very much for your attention. As always, you've been with the Krasmodo channel. See you next time.